Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The bold and the beautiful spoilers and updates tease that Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson, and Hope Logan, Annika Noel, might be on the verge of a reunion. Could some shattered engagements bring these former lovers back into each other's arms, even after Hope broke Thomas' heart when she rejected his marriage proposal? With the confirmation of Matthew Atkinson's return as Thomas Forrester, it's time to ponder the character's future. Given that love stories frequently take the spotlight on the CBS soap, we should particularly focus on Thomas' romantic prospects. The last time B&B viewers saw him, Thomas was set to marry Paris Buckingham, Diamond White. But there's no certainty that the wedding will actually happen or has happened. Paris and Thomas never seemed like a couple destined to last, so they might break up before they even have the chance to exchange their vows. If that occurs, Thomas could embark on a journey of self-discovery and come to the realization that Hope is still the woman he truly desires deep down. Thomas's fixation on Hope may resurface depending on what storylines B&B has in the works. In any case, if her relationship with Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, falters, Hope could find herself in a similar situation of a failed engagement. With Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire, now back in Los Angeles, there's a chance she could tempt Carter away from Hope. This could lead Carter to betray his current fiancée, prompting Hope to cancel the wedding. Or he could decide to slow things down altogether if he ultimately favors Daphne over Hope. Regardless of what happens, Hope and Thomas would share a common struggle if they both experienced the loss of their soon-to-be spouses. Thomas believed he would share his life with Paris forever, but he might come to understand that their relationship was never meant to endure. Hope could come to a similar conclusion regarding Carter and begin to question whether she should have accepted Thomas' proposal from the start. Do you think there's a chance for a romantic reunion between Thomas and Hope? Will they consider rekindling their relationship once their engagements come to a close? According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Thomas is set to return to the storyline by early September. We will keep you updated as more information about his next thrilling arc becomes available. The air in Los Angeles is thick with tension as relationships across the Forrester, Logan, and Spencer families teeter on the edge of collapse. Hearts are bruised, loyalties are tested, and new alliances are forming in places no one ever thought possible. While the fashion empire of Forrester Creations continues to churn out glamour behind the scenes, emotions are raw and decisions are life-altering. At the center of the storm stand Thomas Forrester and Hope Logan, two souls who can't seem to escape their gravitational pull toward each other, no matter how many times the world and their families try to tear them apart. In upcoming episodes, spoilers suggest that engagements will crumble, promises will shatter, and a shocking reunion could send ripple effects across the canvas. Is this finally the moment Thomas and Hope give in to their undeniable connection? Let's dive into what's unfolding. For months, Hope has tried to convince herself that her marriage to Liam Spencer is worth fighting for. She's played the dutiful wife, the devoted mother, and the peacemaker between Liam and Steffi. But deep down, Hope knows something has shifted. Liam's constant waffling between the women in his life has left her feeling second best, and even though he insists his heart belongs to her, his actions continue to prove otherwise. The final straw may come when Liam once again chooses to support Steffi in a crisis, while leaving Hope to fend for herself emotionally. Spoilers tease that a particularly heated argument erupts when Hope questions why Liam always seems to prioritize Steffi's needs over their own marriage. Liam, defensive as ever, argues that Steffi is the mother of his child, Kelly, and that his involvement is necessary. Hope, however, can't help but feel that she's competing with a ghost of their past, and that her marriage is little more than a compromise. As tensions escalate, Hope finds herself turning to the one person she never thought she'd rely on again, Thomas Forrester. After a long journey of redemption, Thomas has made serious strides in rebuilding his reputation. Though many, including Brooke and Liam, still see him as a manipulator, Thomas has worked tirelessly to prove he's changed. His dedication to hope for the future, his love for his son Douglas, and his willingness to accept accountability have painted a picture of a man who's finally maturing. When Hope vents to Thomas about her marital frustrations, he listens without judgment. He doesn't try to push an agenda or rekindle anything at first. He simply provides a safe space for her emotions. It's this very quality, his quiet understanding, that reignites Hope's buried feelings. Thomas, of course, has never stopped loving her. He's tried to move on, but every attempt seems hollow compared to what he feels for Hope. Spoilers tease that he begins to wonder if fate is pulling them back together at precisely the moment both their lives are in upheaval. While Hope and Liam's marriage is on shaky ground, they aren't the only couple facing collapse. Spoilers reveal that multiple engagements could unravel in shocking fashion. Eris and Zend. Their once picture-perfect relationship begins to show cracks. Paris realizes Zend's growing resentment over being sidelined at Forrester, and their constant disagreements about family priorities begin to erode their bond. The idea of marriage suddenly feels more like a trap than a dream. Carter and Daphne. Carter, who has long struggled with finding lasting love, finds himself in yet another doomed engagement. Daphne, once seemingly devoted, reveals her doubts about whether Carter is truly over Quinn. Their dynamic becomes strained, and whispers suggest that Carter may be left at the altar once again. Brooke and Ridge. Though they've reunited countless times, old wounds never stay buried for long. Brooke can't shake the feeling that Ridge's heart isn't fully hers, especially with Taylor still in the picture. As the wedding chatter resurfaces, Steffy takes a bold step that could derail everything. Spoilers hint at her objecting during a ceremony, echoing a classic soap moment. With engagements unraveling left and right, the canvas is being reset for explosive new pairings. And Thomas and Hope may be the biggest twist of all. Hope has always been the one to draw clear boundaries with Thomas, reminding him that their connection is rooted in co-parenting and friendship, not romance. But something is different now. Her marriage to Liam is fractured beyond repair, and she can't deny the deep sense of comfort she feels when Thomas is near. Spoilers tease that Hope has a moment of vulnerability late at night in the Forrester Design office. After a long day of work, she finds Thomas sketching alone. Their conversation shifts from business to personal, and Hope admits she feels invisible in her marriage. Thomas, in turn, admits he still loves her, but swears he will never pressure her into anything she doesn't want. The honesty between them is palpable, and the electricity that fans have long noticed begins to simmer again. A gentle touch on the hand lingers too long, a hug lasts a heartbeat longer than it should, and before they know it, the line between friendship and passion begins to blur. Of course, Brooke Logan has always been wary of Thomas. To her, he is the man who once manipulated her daughter and nearly destroyed her life. Brooke has vowed to protect Hope from Thomas at all costs, and spoilers indicate she may soon sense what's happening. When Brooke walks in on an intimate moment between Thomas and Hope, perhaps an embrace or a near kiss, her fury knows no bounds. She warns Hope that Thomas will never change and that rekindling anything with him would be the biggest mistake of her life. Hope, however, pushes back in a shocking way. She tells her mother that Thomas has shown her more honesty and support than Liam ever has, and that maybe Brooke doesn't know everything after all. This sets up a mother-daughter clash that could fracture their once solid relationship. If Hope chooses Thomas, she risks alienating her family forever. Liam Spencer may not be the most consistent husband, but one thing is clear: his jealousy is a force of nature. The moment he realizes that Hope has been spending time with Thomas again, he goes into full-blown panic mode. Spoilers suggest Liam lashes out, accusing Hope of betraying him and putting Douglas in danger by letting Thomas back into her heart. But here's the twist: Hope doesn't back down this time. Instead of reassuring Liam, she throws his hypocrisy in his face. How many times has he run back to Steffy when their marriage hit rough patches? How many times has she forgiven him, only to be left feeling second best? Hope's fiery defense of her connection with Thomas could be the turning point where Liam realizes he's lost her for good. While adults battle over love, little Douglas may prove to be the true catalyst for change. The young boy, wise beyond his years, has always wanted his parents together. Spoilers hint that he may innocently voice his wish once more, perhaps saying he wants to live with both his mom and dad under the same roof. Hearing Douglas's words stirs something deep in Hope. She begins to question whether fighting her feelings for Thomas is worth it when their son's happiness is at stake. Thomas, meanwhile, is overcome with emotion, realizing that his lifelong dream of a family with Hope may not be as impossible as he once thought. All signs point to a shocking reunion between Thomas and Hope. Spoilers tease that an upcoming week will feature a moment that fans have been waiting for: Thomas and Hope finally giving in to their passion. Whether it's a kiss that leads to more or a full-fledged romantic night together, the fallout will be explosive. Liam will spiral into anger and devastation, potentially turning to Steffy for comfort once again. Brooke will feel betrayed and powerless, fearing her daughter is repeating history. Rich will be torn between defending his son and supporting Brooke. Steffy may surprisingly support Thomas, arguing that he deserves happiness after years of being painted as the villain. And as the dust settles, the big question remains: is this a fleeting moment of weakness for Hope, or the beginning of a brand new chapter with Thomas? The Bold and the Beautiful thrives on cycles of betrayal, redemption, and shocking romance twists. A Thomas Hope reunion wouldn't just stir the pot, it would reshape the canvas. It would reignite rivalries, reframe family dynamics, and potentially shift the balance of power at Forrester Creations. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Boldy and BAUTFULUPDAT YouTube channel for more update news.